question number 1 this week comes to us from Colin on YouTube, and he asks about basically, does this video from 2015 still hold up? And in this video, Brian, you recommend your picks for an ink of every color. So all the colors of the rainbow and then and some extras, and you named an ink for each one.
Yeah.
And in your original video, you said that your black was Noodler's Heart of Darkness.
Okay.
Your recommended blue was Liberty's Elysium. Recommended brown was Tsukushi. Burgundy was Noodler's Black Swan and Australian Roses. Your green was Private Reserve Spearmint. The gray choice was Noodler's Lexington Gray. Orange, Apache Sunset. Pink, Yamabudo. Purple, Diatramentus Aubergine. Red, Diamine Red Dragon, of course. Turquoise, Diamine Marine, which I know is a favorite of yours.
Love it.
You've turned me on to that one. And then finally, yellow, you picked J. Herbon Amberdy Bird Amberdy.
That's right. Stand by that.
Ambre de Bermani. Amberdy Bird Amberdy.
Amberdy Bird Amberdy. That goes back to the garage days. We used to call it that. Yeah. I still stand by that original list. It's a very, very solid list. The one exception being that Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukushi has been noted by Pilot to be discontinued. We still have it. There's still an okay stock of it in the US. We kind of asked them like, hey, when do you think it's actually going to run out? So they still have stock of it. They were just giving a big heads up about it. So it's probably going to be available into early 2022, but I don't know exactly when it's going to go away. So that's the one thing that, like, because it's going away, I can't really say that it's going to hold up. But as of this moment, everything on that list still holds up. And I looked at them all again and I was like, yeah. I mean, Private Reserve Spearmint went away and then it came back. So if you'd asked a year ago, it would have been like, oh, not happening. But, you know, here we are. Now PR is back. So yeah, all those are still good. But I thought it was kind of a fun exercise to go through and be like, you know what? If I don't include anything on that original list and came up with a new list based on, you know, my own thoughts now, what would I recommend? So that's what I thought I'd do. So I got something to recommend and Drew's got something to recommend, and we have like 50 inks to link to, and we probably won't link to them all. But anyway, you can just reference a video or Google it or whatever. Okay, so for the black, I had Herbon Pearl Noir. It's I think it's actually the first black ink that we ever carried, because it was with Herbon and we carried it 12 years ago. And it's a great ink. It's wet, it's dark, it's easy to clean, easy to maintain, no crazy properties. It's very well-behaved black ink. Just don't think that gets enough love. It's great stuff. Blue, this one, you know, could be maybe considered a turquoise, but I put it in blue. Robert Oster Blue Water Ice. Love that. Just great shading, amazing color. I thought that's worth a mention. Brown, I had Diamine Chocolate Brown. It's literally like if you were to like melt a milk chocolate bar and smear it on the page. That's kind of what it looks like to me. So I like that deep dark brown. Burgundy, I had Diamine Syrah. It's a little bit more of it leans a little bit purple, kind of that wine color, but I think it's very fitting for the name. It looks really great shading. Came out a long time ago, but it still holds up in my opinion. Green, I did Jacques Herbon 1670 Emerald of Chivor. Okay, technically it's more of a teal. You could call it a turquoise, but I put it under green. You know, it's a great color, super popular, and I think, you know, especially if you're just wanting something interesting. It's got glitter in it. It's got sheen to it. It's just a very unique ink, and I love the color. For gray, I had Sailor Manyo Haha, which is a cool multi-tonal. It's not a dark gray, and I still love Lexington Gray. It's one of my favorite grays of all time. So that one's got some permanence to it, which is also part of why I love it. But Haha is just a really interesting gray, and it's something newer that we did not have in 2015. For orange, I went with a crustacean barnacle one, Diamine Pumpkin, maybe the OG crustacean ink, because that was, I think, the first one that we ever received crustacean notices about it was Pumpkin.
Crustacean notices.
Yeah, put us on crustacean notice. Pumpkin was there, but it's a great orange color, deep orange, very vibrant. Love it. It's worth the trouble. Pink, I did Noodler's Saguaro Wine, which you've already referenced, Drew. It's just a rich magenta, great shading. I really don't feel like it gets mentioned enough. You know, so that's a good one.
That was the first bottle I ever broke.
That's right.
Or the only bottle I've ever dropped and have shattered at work.
Is that the only bottle you've ever broken? How about that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember now which bottles I broke in. I remember there's the one that I broke when I spiked the package like a football when I was testing out. I don't remember what ink that was though. I think it was a Noodler's.
I think it was Liberty's Elysium.
It might have been Liberty's Elysium. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. I haven't broken a lot of ink, believe it or not.
Randall dropped that bottle of Bay State that stayed in the old warehouse forever and will remain long after the earth is melted by the sun.
I was going to say, it's probably just melted a hole down to the center of the earth in the shape of that splatter. I'm just kidding. For purple, I had Lamy Crystal Azurite. Dark purple. It's got a green sheen to it. It's really psychedelic, and I love that color. Red, and also didn't exist in 2015. Red, I had Diamond Matador, which I know you had, Drew, because it's basically Red Dragon, and I just love that color. Matator. That's right. Turquoise, I had Organic Studio Alanine. Rich color, not that different from Diamond Marine, but it has a more intense sheen to it, kind of a red sheen, which looks pretty cool. And then for yellow, I had Diamond Golden Sands, which is a glittery, shimmer-tastic yellow golden ink, and it's basically as gold of an ink as you can get in a fountain pen. And I think it looks really cool, and it didn't exist back then. So tried to update the list, refresh it a little bit. I'm not saying like these are my favorite of these categories, but ones that I think are absolutely worth trying if you're into those colors. And that is my list, Drew.
All right.
You want to mention yours, or you think we're going too long?
Yeah. I'll run through mine real quick. Cool. I'm just adding a couple audibles because you stole some of mine.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway,
Drew came up with his list first, by the way. But
thank you. I was going to say that. All right, so I'll go through mine pretty quick. For my black, I'm going to go with Sailor Kiwaguro. For my blue, I'm going to go Bay State Blue, simply because if you have not tried it, you need to try it. There's nothing else like it. Put it in a pen you don't care about, but the actual ink that you're going to see on the paper is going to blow your mind. It's every bit as amazing as people say, and it stains every bit as easily as people say. So try it at least. My brown is going to be Noodler's Golden Brown, shades like nothing else. I love it. Burgundy is going to be Noodler's Nightshade, one of my favorite inks to actually write Nightshade. Green, PR Spearmint all the way, love it. Avocado is also a good second one.
Oh, yeah.
My gray, I had Haha, Brian stole it, so I'm going to go with Thunder Fluff, Sailor Ink Studio 224.
Sorry, I totally overlooked that you had Haha. I did not realize I stole that. Sorry.
Oh, sure you did. My orange is going to be Noodler's Cayenne. It's kind of a red orange, but it's awesome. My pink is going to be Noodler's Autumn and Rose, though I did think about Saguaro Wine. That's another good one. Good. My purple is going to be Robert Oster Summer Storm. That's one I recently discovered. It's a nice dusty purple. And then I'm going to remove Diamond Matator in favor of Noodler's Red Black, which is a great dark red if you wanted to have something pretty much black. But if you look closely, it's like, oh no, I'm more exciting than that. And then turquoise, I'm going to go with Private Reserve Blue Suede. When I was doing the swabs for Private Reserve, once we recarried that brand, I looked at that and I'm like, oh my God, that I kind of fell in love with that one. And then finally, another Private Reserve. I'm going to finish off with yellow, and that's going to be Buttercup.
A buttercup. That's a pretty true yellow. That's like a bright, sunshiny kind of yellow, right?
But it's dark enough to see. And that was my thing. There are a lot of nice looking.
Yeah, it's like on the cusp. It's like the last.
It's right on the cusp. I think you can still see it.
Yeah, it's as bright as you can get without losing it altogether, or mistaking it for like a highlighter ink.
And I know sometimes we sound like Noodlers fanboys here, so I didn't want to go all Noodlers, but I will say that one thing that you cannot go wrong with is getting all of the primary colors from Noodlers. Noodlers brown, blue, purple, yellow, red, green. They're all really good.
Yeah, I agree.